All right. Welcome, everyone. Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss. I am Leslie M. Thornton. Today, we are talking about visibility, vulnerability, and trust. And this is inspired by a client that I just had a coaching call with. And based on her background, it made it very challenging for her now as an adult to being able to trust. And on this conversation with this client, what she was bringing up is the fact that wine is the thing that she goes to. And then immediately that negative chatter happens in her mind that says, "What's wrong with you? I can't believe you did that. Why do you always go back to the wine?" And what I said to her was, and I'm saying this to you now, it has very much less to do with anything about the wine here. I know that it feels like the wine is the enemy and that you are the enemy. And in the other podcast that I've also done that's coming out around now, I just filmed it. I was talking about that negative mental chatter, not being able to be nice to yourself. So, that is number one. The real problem, number one, is that you're not able to be nice to yourself. The real problem, number two, is the fact that all day long for this client, and you can kind of add in and think of yourself as I'm explaining her situation. She's because she can't trust anyone, quote unquote, because of her past, and it's not her fault. She's very self-aware. She's very smart. She knows that she is safe. She has a good family. She has a good husband, but her body is terrified of actually allowing herself to be full-blown self-expressed. So she's not being visible. She's not being vulnerable, right? On the coaching calls, the camera would be off or it would be right halfway or whatever that looked like for her. No guilt or shame about that, but it's getting that whatever way we show up day to day is a mirror into what is holding us back. So as she's going throughout her day and not in the world of not being safe, not being able to trust because of her past, not her fault at all, just a fact, she's bottling it all in. And I remember for myself, I used to bottle it all in all the time. I didn't feel like I belonged in my family. I didn't feel like I had a place. I didn't feel like when I did actually step out and speak my mind and say what I want to say, that I was heard, that I was understood, that I was valued, that I was appreciated. And I felt like I was alone on an island. And guess what I'd be doing when people weren't looking? I'd be getting like another gin and tonic and like making it extra strong just so that I could get an extra buzz on. And I had the thoughts of being like, oh, wow, this is a problem. You're an addict. Oh, God, where is this going to head? All of those same kind of scary thoughts. So I absolutely get it. And this is how that train starts. But that train had absolutely nothing to do with that gin or my family's genes or my upbringing or background. Okay, I'm not going to say nothing. Obviously, having the alcohol in the house and having a family that socially drank and all that kind of stuff allowed that to be there. But what caused me to start the sneak behavior, the same way we all have sneak behavior with food or whatever, was because I was holding parts of myself back. And as human beings, holding any part of yourself back is absolutely intolerable, which can cause challenges because then we can be stuck between a rock and a hard place because we might feel actual anger and we want to just let the anger out, which we have learned from the past that doesn't go well either. It causes relationships to fail, etc. Or we bottle that anger in and then it becomes self-anger and now we're self-medicating with food and alcohol, etc. So I had to go through this journey, a journey that my hypnosis for permanent weight loss clients go through, of stepping outside my comfort zone, of letting other people see me, of realizing that people actually did listen to me and understand me. But I had to ask the hard questions. I had to look like a sobbing mess at times, right? The same client was just telling me, I'm afraid that if I actually don't numb out with that wine, that I'm just going to cry and cry and cry forever. And I'm never going to be able to stop. And then she has the wine instead, but now she's crying at herself because why can't I stop drinking the wine? So either way, she's stuck in that vicious cycle over and over again. And so the challenge that I gave her was, you need to make a video, you need to call yourself out and say, I'm hiding. It's because of my past. I'm scared of trusting people. And my commitment is that I am going to show up in a way that I've never shown up before. Now, this also comes out any judgment that we have about the way other people show up, right? So if you're someone who's hiding yourself and wanting to make sure that you're being polite and respectful because you learned from your past that it was not safe to step out or speak your mind or whatever that looks like for you, and you're then gonna do that. So then you're gonna judge other people who are doing that same thing. If they're taking up space because you've taught yourself not to do that, then you're gonna be like, oh, that person, why are they doing that? But it's like, because, and the only reason you're judging or noticing that is because you don't feel safe to do that. But that's the exact thing keeping you stuck in that hole. Right. So in my path, I went to ecstatic dance and I ran an ecstatic dance to get past what other people would think about me. Right. I joined coaching calls. I'd be crying on camera and like letting that stuff out. I was terrified because I thought people would abandon me if they saw that I had, insecurities, or my relationships weren't perfect, or that my family wasn't perfect, or that, and realizing that these things are universal, that your story is not unique. There are always people who have very similar experiences as you, not exactly the same, but you would be very surprised, right? I did all sorts of personal development things where I got to see that all human beings are struggling with the exact same things, that inner critic, that voice, right? Parent things and relationship things. There is absolutely no one who doesn't have this stuff still going on. Right. So when it comes to visibility and vulnerability and trust, there's only one way through. Right. She's had success in the program and has the awareness and is making that contact with the inner child and doing tapping and working on her beliefs, and she's experiencing that change. But what's actually going to make the major life difference for her is stepping outside that line, of getting out of her comfort zone right here, right now, and saying to people the thing that she doesn't want to say, and for being the way that she doesn't want to be. Right? I had coaching in the past. I was like, if you were to look at like what song would be the song of your life, it's like, what would that genre be? Right. So for you, it may be classical, it may be uh, hip hop, it may be rap, it may be jazz. Now think about a genre of music that's kind of the opposite of that one. That's the song that you play. Right. So if you're classical, what would it be like to do rap and rock and roll? If you're already rock and roll, what would it be like to be classical? And most of us, we don't want to do that because we have judgments about rock and roll. We have judgments about classical. But until we're actually able to tap in and break through, right, for the reasons that we have judgments, the fear of what other people are going to think, the fear of abandonment, the fear of rejection, common human fears and concerns. Once you're able to get past that by actually saying out loud that this is my fear and choosing to be a different way, just as a science experiment, you never have to do anything forever. But just maybe on the other side of your doing the opposite of that, of your showing up, of your speaking out, even though you think nobody cares, nobody can hear you, of you saying what you want to say, of you getting mad, getting angry, get upset. I know with my family, when I had those stories going on, it was like, why don't you understand me? How come every time I say this is what happens? Like I had to go through a lot of bumping and right, to like get me to have my family be able to say to me, we do care what you say. Or they got to say like, well, sometimes maybe we don't pay attention because we don't really understand what it is that you're doing. So then the conversation could continue and it's like, oh, well, then let's help you understand what I'm doing. Right? Or whatever that would look like. And because of that, I have so much freedom, right? But we gotta face those fears. If you know that you're holding yourself in, if you're not on camera, right? I can't tell you how many people who look into hypnosis for permanent weight loss have no Facebook picture on their wall, and you can't find one of them at all, or LinkedIn, or like anything. And it's just a sign to us that, wow, this person may have fears. They may have trust issues. They may really think that they hate the way that they think, or, right, there's always something in the background. I'm here to say that whatever that thing is in the background for you, letting other people see you cry, that was always like, oh my God, if they do that, they're never going to come to me for help anymore. And that, I hate that idea. I didn't want that to be the case. So I was like, I would never show emotion. I would never cry. And then I would say I didn't have anger and like didn't have sadness, but then I'd be drinking and eating. So that's just not true at all. So we need to get that outlet. There's no way that you can just continue to hold it all in a bottle. That bottling up is what causes you to hit the bottle later. And I don't want that for you if you don't want that. I know that this client really doesn't want that. So she is 100% taking these actions to get herself out of that rut. This is what will take her to the next level. And the difference between someone who has the full transformation and who doesn't are the ones who are willing to take it to the next level, even though everything inside them says, absolutely don't. It's not safe. You can't prove it to your subconscious mind, to your body, to yourself, unless you just do the darn thing and see that you didn't die on the other side of that. So, where are you hiding out? Where are you not visible? Where are you not being vulnerable? Right? With this woman as well, she was talking about how she's always like there for other people. Her comfort zone is being like, I totally get you. I understand. She's so compassionate. She's so loving, right? She's a great mother. But then when it comes for her asking for someone else to take care of her, like, hey, can I cry to you today as an experiment? Hey, I really feel like I just need to talk. Would it be okay if you didn't talk until I'm done? And it's because we have this we can have shame that's in the background that's like, well, I know I don't really have anything to complain about. Like nothing's really happening. It's fine. But if you're binging and if you're drinking alcohol and whatever, it's not fine. It's not fine at all. Not unless you're totally at peace with that. If you're, binging on food and drinking alcohol or doing whatever these types of things, taking Tylenol PM every night to fall asleep at night or whatever that thing for your own emotional mastery is, no judgment on that. But if that's happening, then what I'm saying is part of it, right? There's something that's in the background for you, and we're here to support you in finding out what is that thing in the background for you that has you not get to the source of your feeling like you can't control yourself around food. And are you willing to do whatever it takes to stop this vicious cycle? And if you are, then let's move forward in the conversation. If you know anyone who could use this podcast or program, please send it their way. And we'll talk to you again really soon.